Scars of the Rising Sun, a story of Japanese prisoner of war camps. In the heart of the Southeast Asian theater during World War II, the fall of Singapore in 1942 marked a turning point for both Allied and Japanese forces. Thousands of British, Australian, and Indian soldiers who had fought valiantly were now prisoners of war, their lives and fates irrevocably altered. Among them was a young Australian soldier named Private John Lawson, whose journey into the depths of darkness was about to begin. Upon capture, Lawson, along with his fellow soldiers, was forced into a nightmarish existence in a Japanese POW camp located deep within the Burmese jungle. The camp's name, a number and a letter, became synonymous with suffering and despair. The captives were subjected to a grueling daily routine that revolved around forced labor, with the sole purpose of constructing a railway line through the unforgiving terrain, connecting Thailand to Burma. The captors' cruelty seemed to know no bounds. Rations were meager and insufficient, leading to widespread malnutrition. Beriberi, caused by thiamine deficiency, spread like wildfire, causing extreme pain and swelling in the limbs. The men were emaciated, weakened to the point that they resembled little more than living skeletons. Those who fell behind or couldn't keep up were subject to brutal beatings, often with bamboo canes that left welts and wounds that festered due to lack of proper medical care. But it was the specter of death that loomed most ominously over the camp. Public executions, known euphemistically as Speedo, were a constant reminder of the captives' vulnerability. A selection process, arbitrary and cold, determined who would meet this grisly fate. Stripped of their dignity, the chosen prisoners were paraded before their fellow captives before being beheaded with Japanese swords. The blood-soaked earth seemed to drink in the last breaths as a chilling silence enveloped the camp. Disease was another relentless enemy. Dysentery, cholera, and malaria thrived in the squalid and unsanitary conditions. Overcrowded bamboo huts offered little protection from the elements, and the lack of hygiene and clean water turned the camp into a breeding ground for contagion. Desperate cries for help echoed through the night as those afflicted with disease writhed in pain, often dying in their own filth. In the midst of this abyss, glimmers of humanity managed to survive. Through sheer determination, some prisoners crafted rudimentary tools and instruments, allowing them to secretly communicate through coded messages. Hidden performances, resembling acts of defiance against their oppressors, were held in the darkest corners of the camp. These small acts of resistance offered a fleeting respite from the ceaseless horror. As the war's end drew near, the situation in the camp grew even more dire. Starvation became even more severe, and the brutal treatment of prisoners escalated as desperation gripped both captives and captors alike. When the camp was finally liberated, the survivors emerged into a world forever altered by their experiences. Their bodies bore the scars of their torment, and their minds carried the weight of the atrocities they had witnessed and endured. The story of Private John Lawson and the countless others who suffered in Japanese POW camps during World War II stands as a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty that can emerge during times of conflict. The darkness of these experiences, the physical and psychological wounds that never truly healed, serve as a somber testament to the enduring legacy of those who endured such horrors.